Hello everyone. Today we will see how to find a length of list by using two approach. So for example, if we have one list which is in this case having 8 elements and we want to find out what is the length of this list. So first approach is by using for loop, in which we will simply use one counter variable and we will keep increasing that count variable for every iteration. And next approach by using length method. So Python is having a length method which can directly give you the value of or the length of that specific list. Now let's go to PyCharm. In PyCharm, I'm going to create new Python file. Let's name that Python file as length of list. So we have created the .python file. Now, so we have defined one list, my list, which is holding around 8 elements, right? So it is holding the 8 elements and the length of this my list is 8. So we want to find out the length. So we will see the first approach 1 by using for loop. So we will simply define one variable, let's say count variable, and we will assign the initial value as 0. Now we will use for function for I in my list. So basically what we are doing, so we are taking or we are fetching the value one by one from this my list and we are storing that value in I. So every time the I gets the value, so it will first get the first value, then it will get the second value, next iteration it will get third value, in the next iteration it will get next value, and so on until it reaches to the last value. So when the I gets the value from the my list, we are simply increasing the count by 1. So we are simply increasing the count value by 1. So at the end, it will obviously have overall all the elements value in that count variable. So if there are 8 elements, so this count value will be 8. Now after this, we are simply printing. Let's print length of list is comma, and then we have to print the count variable. So let's run this file. So let's execute. We can simply, the length of list is 8, right? So every time it is fetching one by one. So we have used one counter variable, count variable, whose value will be increased for every I value whenever it will fetch it from the my list, right? So it will fetch one by one. So first it will fetch 1, in the next iteration again it will fetch 3, then 2, 7, 88, 9, 55 until 3. And after that all the value ends and it will come out of this for loop and the count variable will be 8, right? So every time it will increase the value by 1 every iteration. So at the end we are simply printing the count, that is 8. Now let's increase some variable. Now let's see, I am going to add 3 more variables in it. Let's say 4, 7, 5. So we have added 3 more values in the my list. So now again let's run the file. So if you see the output, now length of list is 11, right? So we have increased or we have added 3 more values in the my list. So it increased the length of the list to 11. So this is the first approach by which we can find out the length of specific list. Now let's see the approach 2 as well. So in Python we can simply use, let's say I'm going to directly print length of list is comma, and in Python we can simply use the length function and we have to pass our list, my list. So length of my list, it will simply give you the length of the list. In this case it will print 11 because now the length of list is 11. So let's run the file, right? So second time we can see that length of list is 11, right? So this length of my list, it will print or it will give the value of list directly. So these are the two approach by which we can calculate the length of list in Python. So thank you for watching.